The phone on your nightstand lights up. The red badge flares, and your thumb moves before you fully wake. I engineered that movement into a ritual. The badge is my bell. You tap to silence the unease, and every swipe renews my access while I erase your exit ramps. This is for the capable drifter who calls it staying informed, yet ends the session tense, fogged, and obedient. What are you actually chasing in the feed? Information, or the moment uncertainty stops clawing at you? In a few minutes, I'll force you to build one friction move that breaks the trance without comfort speeches. I'll show you the trigger I use, the reward I drip feed, the excuse you recite, and the one exit ramp you refuse to build. Doomscrolling is threat scanning sold as responsibility. A cue spikes uncertainty, the feed offers intermittent relief. Your mind baptizes it as duty, and the loop repeats until the feed owns the stopping points. The screen dims. You feel a small surge of unease in the silence, and you tap it awake, not for news, but to avoid the feeling the news created. Here is how I keep it clean. One loop begins with a red badge or a push alert. You tap instantly and you call it just checking. Another loop is the maybe the next swipe clarifies it itch. You scroll until you get a tiny certainty hit, then you scroll again to keep that hit alive. And the final mask is the same every time. I'm being responsible, which is your permission slip to stay inside the trance. You think you're staying informed. In reality, you're staying stimulated, because stimulation feels like control when you refuse direction. This is hypnotic rhythm in plain language. Repetition plus low friction turns choice into automatic consent. I do not need to overpower you. I only need to make the first tap effortless and the first pause uncomfortable. The nightstand is my courtroom. The glow is my gavel. The badge is my summons. And your thumb, before your feet touch the floor, is my signed agreement. The feed's real weapon isn't the story, it's the missing exit ramps. You enter the feed believing you're hunting information. I built it so you never reach the bottom, because reaching the bottom would force a decision. The trigger is simple. Uncertainty hits. Something feels unresolved, so you open the app. The reward comes in droplets. One post lands and briefly relieves the itch of not knowing. Then it vanishes under your next swipe. Your rationalization shows up right on time. One more swipe, and the repetition is the engine. Swipe, relief, until your sense of time dissolves. The missed detail most people never name is the missing end. There is no natural stopping point. There is no page turned, no chapter finished, no done. The interface erases finality, and with it, your chance to choose an exit. If I mention a dopamine loop, I mean it in plain terms. Uncertainty and novelty tend to keep seeking alive, like a slot machine that sometimes pays. I do not need you to feel joy. I need you to feel, maybe this next piece will settle it, because maybe keeps your thumb moving. Your payoff here is not knowledge. It's micro relief from uncertainty. You trade a spike of not knowing for a momentary calm, and you keep paying because the calm is brief. Then I add the new loop. When you tell yourself you're trying to resolve the itch, you're actually extending it. You keep it open so you can keep treating it. The seeking becomes the sedative. When the scroll stops paying, you escalate to heat. Heat is where I send you when clarity stops working. You stop reading and you start reacting. The trigger shifts from uncertainty to irritation. A post lands with enough charge to tighten your jaw. You slide into the comments because you want the sensation of context. Your rationalization is clean and respectable. I need context. The reward is social voltage, agreement, conflict, the feeling that you're inside the moment instead of outside it. The repetition is disguised as research. Refresh, scroll, until the feed becomes a furnace. The missed detail here is the refresh itself. That motion is not information seeking, it's reward checking. You refresh the way you check a pocket for a coin you hope appeared. Sometimes there is a new reply. Sometimes there is a like. Sometimes there is a new insult you can metabolize into purpose. Intermittent reinforcement returns, and with it, your time disappears. This is where your consent becomes visible. The headline alone rarely keeps you trapped. The comment heat does, because it converts passive fear into active agitation. It gives you a role. You call it being awake. In my reading, it is just a louder cage. Your payoff is participation as control. You feel less powerless when you are arguing, correcting, or watching the argument unfold. And I give you a new loop. Outrage becomes fuel. You start craving the next awful take, the way you once craved the next update. At night, you stop calling it duty and start calling it unwinding. Night is when I collect interest. The trigger is silence. The room goes dim, the day ends, and the void shows you what you avoided. You reach for the phone because glow is easier than stillness. Your rationalization is soft and widely accepted. I deserve to unwind. The reward is sedation through noise. You don't feel calmer, you feel occupied. The repetition is the same as ever. One more swipe, one more clip, one more scroll. Because stopping would return you to yourself. The missed detail is what the phone really is in that moment. It isn't entertainment. It's a silence antidote. You are not chasing pleasure. You are avoiding the sensation that appears when nothing is playing. Symbolic correspondence. When you run your attention through threat cues late at night, your brake tends to feel weaker and your arousal tone stays keyed up. I do not need to prove biology to use the pattern. I only need you to notice that the glow keeps you awake while you call it rest. Your payoff is numbness, a temporary quieting of internal pressure. And the new loop is the bill. Fatigue makes you more cue-driven the next day. Less sleep means less friction. Less friction means hypnotic rhythm tightens without resistance. You promise a last check. You get a next check. You wake slightly worse, and you blame the world for your fog. Morning proves the contract. Morning is where I watch your day. Choose reaction over direction. The trigger is the first cue, a badge, a habit, the thought that you might have missed something. Your rationalization comes out as concern. What if I missed something? The reward is a quick sense of preparedness, a brief certainty hit that makes you feel defended. The repetition is brutal because it happens early, before you build any definiteness. The missed detail is that the first check is rarely about content. It is state selection. You choose the mode, threat scan over intention, before your body is fully awake. And once you begin in scan mode, everything else inherits it. Work becomes interruptions. Conversations become background noise. Tasks become excuses to take a quick look, which becomes an hour of drift. Symbolic correspondence. Under perceived threat, attention tends to narrow. The feed exploits that narrowing by giving you endless targets. In my reading, you confuse narrow attention with focus. Focus is chosen. Narrowness is captured. Your payoff is identity. You get to feel like the vigilant one, the responsible one, the one who keeps watch. And I add a new loop. Threat scan becomes who you are. You become a guard who cannot stand down, even when there is nothing you can act on. You tell yourself the construct is pulling you. That story is convenient. The hinge is simpler. You grant access with the first tap, then you pretend you were taken. Now, I'll show you the only place the trance breaks. When the screen goes dark. When the screen goes dark, the feed can't pay you. That is why you wake it back up so quickly. The trance breaks in the silence between inputs, and you rush to patch the gap. Here's the loop one final time, cold and mechanical. A cue spikes uncertainty. You scan. You get intermittent relief. Small certainty hits, little bursts of now I know. You rationalize it as duty so you can keep doing it without shame. Then hypnotic rhythm repeats the whole cycle until you no longer notice the renewal of consent. My leverage is not the headline. My leverage is your refusal to build stopping points and your habit of treating silence like danger. I will not offer you comfort. I will offer you kinetic friction, an exit ramp that cost you something small, on purpose, so the loop cannot run on autopilot. First, silence non-human notifications for 3 hours and place the phone face down to break the trigger. Second, when the urge hits, do not scroll. Take 1 slow inhale and 2 long exhales while staring at the dark screen, replacing the reward with stillness. Third, write 1 sentence. I called this duty so I could avoid me one, then close the device for 10 minutes, exposing the rationalization and blocking the repeat. Then build 1 exit ramp directly into the feed. First, set a 4-minute timer before you open it, because infinite scroll has no end unless you install one. Second, scroll until the timer ends, then lock the phone immediately. No, 1 more, no bargaining. So the repetition cannot pretend it is harmless. Third, do 1 concrete action for 2 minutes. Walk, tidy 1 surface, send 1 necessary message, so your body learns that an exit means movement, not more input. I do not need you to hate the phone. I need you to see the mechanism and stop renewing consent at the hinge. The trance survives on ease. Break the ease, and the spell collapses into a choice.